Most people think belly fat is just about appearance, a waistline problem, a mirror problem. It's not. There's a more dangerous type called visceral fat, hidden deep around your organs, and you can't see or pinch it. But it actively disrupts your metabolism and makes fat loss harder. Two people can look the same, and have completely different levels of this dangerous fat. Here's what most people never hear. Your body decides when it will burn visceral fat, and that decision is heavily influenced by what you do in the first 90 minutes after waking up. Many people accidentally train their body to protect belly fat every morning. Subscribe and save this, because one small morning habit can block fat burning for hours. Comment below, what's the first thing you take in after waking, water, coffee, or food? I'll explain which one helps most. Let's start with something that might surprise you. Fat loss is not just about energy balance. Yes, calories matter, but fat selection matters too. Your body does not burn all stored fat equally. It chooses. Based on hormones. Based on timing. Based on stress signals. Based on insulin levels. Based on nervous system state. Think of your stored fat like multiple bank accounts. Subcutaneous fat, the fat under the skin, is one account. Visceral fat, deep abdominal fat, is another account. Your body does not withdraw from both at the same rate. There are conditions where visceral fat is released faster. There are conditions where it is defended aggressively. And those conditions are strongly influenced by your morning biology. Which brings us to a critical fact. When you wake up, your body is already in a fat mobilizing state. Not because of motivation. Because of hormones. Overnight, insulin falls. Glucagon rises. Growth hormone pulses. Fatty acids begin circulating. You wake up already leaning toward fat use. But most people, within minutes, cancel that advantage. Not with overeating. With mistimed signals. And once those signals are sent, your metabolic priority changes for hours. We're going to prevent that. But before we build the routine, you need to understand the switch. Because if you don't understand the switch, you won't respect the timing. There is a metabolic gatekeeper hormone that decides whether stored fat can leave fat cells easily or not. That hormone is insulin. When insulin rises, fat release is restricted. When insulin stays low, fat release is easier. This is not hype, it's basic fuel partitioning. In the morning, insulin is naturally low, unless you spike it. And you don't just spike it with food. You can spike it with certain drinks. Certain stress patterns. Certain sleep behaviors. Certain rushed routines. Which means someone can eat healthy, and still block morning fat mobilization. That's why some people feel like they're doing everything right, but belly fat barely changes. Wrong window. Wrong order. Wrong signals. Right actions, wrong timing. And timing matters more than people think. Let me raise the stakes further. Visceral fat is not passive storage. It's metabolically active tissue. It releases inflammatory signals. Hormonal disruptors. Fatty acid spillover. Cytokines that affect appetite and insulin response. In simple terms, visceral fat talks back. It influences how hungry you feel. How you store energy. How your liver processes nutrients. More visceral fat, worse metabolic signaling, harder fat loss, more visceral fat. Unless you interrupt the loop. Morning is your best interruption window. Because your hormonal environment is already halfway there, if you don't override it. And most people override it without realizing it. Here's what typically happens in a modern morning. Alarm rings. Phone grabbed instantly. Stress spike. Artificial light. No movement. Sugary drink or refined carb breakfast. Caffeine overload. Rushed exit. That sequence sends a very specific metabolic message. Energy incoming, store and stabilize. Not. Mobilize and burn. Same calories, different hormonal interpretation. And hormones decide fat access. Not willpower. Because one of the most popular, healthy morning habits is actually one of the biggest visceral fat blockers when mistimed. Most people will defend it. Most influencers repeat it. Most routines include it. And later in this script, I'm going to show you how to use it correctly, because the timing changes everything. But first we build the base. Because without the base, the advanced steps won't work. Your body runs on signals more than schedules. Light signals. Movement signals. Hydration signals. Fuel signals. Stress signals. Morning is when those signals are loudest. Think of the first hour after waking as metabolic programming time. You are not just starting your day. Different process. Different control. There's another silent blocker, stress loading your nervous system the moment you wake up. Phone in hand. Bad news. Work messages. Mental pressure before physical movement. This spikes stress hormones without muscular output to balance them. The result is higher circulating glucose and a stronger insulin response later, which again reduces fat access. Stress isn't the problem. Unspent stress chemistry is. Morning movement acts like a release valve. Without it, your metabolism shifts defensive instead of mobilizing. That's one reason chronic stress is strongly linked to visceral fat accumulation, even when diet isn't terrible. Now let's correct a popular mistake, mistimed caffeine. Caffeine can support fat oxidation, but timing changes the effect. Right at wake-up, your natural alertness hormones are already high. Stacking heavy caffeine there often creates a spike and crash pattern that increases hunger and cravings later in the day. Used later, after your first waking hour, caffeine improves output and fat use more cleanly. Same tool. Different timing. Different metabolic result. Another surprise, harder morning workouts are not always better for visceral fat loss. Very high-intensity fasted training every morning can drive hunger strongly afterward. If appetite control breaks, total intake rises, and belly fat loss slows. The sweet spot for mornings is short, fasted, low to moderate intensity, repeatable daily. We are not chasing exhaustion. We are shaping fuel selection. Now let's assemble the actual morning fat burn protocol, simple, ordered, and realistic. Think of the first 60 to 90 minutes after waking as metabolic programming time. Order matters more than complexity. Alarm clock the morning fat burn sequence. Step 1, delay calories, first 60 to 90 minutes. Don't eat immediately. Extend your natural low insulin window. This increases the chance your body pulls from stored abdominal fat instead of incoming fuel. You're not starving, you're leveraging timing. Step 2, hydrate immediately. Drink a full glass of water on waking. A small pinch of salt is optional. Hydration supports circulation and fat oxidation chemistry. Starting with caffeine instead of water worsens fatigue and appetite control later. Water is the start signal. Step 3, get morning light, 5 minutes. Go outside if possible. Let natural light reach your eyes. This improves circadian rhythm, which improves insulin sensitivity, sleep quality, and appetite regulation, all tied to visceral fat behavior. Light is a metabolic signal, not just a mood booster. Step 4, do 8 to 15 minutes of fasted movement. Examples. Brisk walk. Stairs. Mobility flow. Light bodyweight circuit. Easy cycling. Intensity, you can talk, but not sing. This increases fat utilization while insulin is still low, without triggering a hunger rebound. Consistency here beats intensity. Step 5, place caffeine later, around 60 to 90 minutes. If you use coffee or caffeine, use it after the first hour, not immediately on waking. This reduces crashes and supports cleaner energy and fat oxidation. Avoid sugar-heavy additions if belly fat loss is your goal. Step 6. Break the fast with protein first. Your first meal should anchor on protein. Target at least 30 to 40 grams. Add fiber, healthy fats, and slower carbs if desired. Protein-first meals improve appetite control and reduce overeating later, which directly supports visceral fat reduction. Avoid these morning belly fat blockers. If most of your mornings include these, progress slows. Sugary drinks first thing. Carb-heavy breakfast immediately. No movement at all. No daylight exposure. Stress scrolling on wake. All-out fasted workouts daily. Heavy caffeine at minute 1. Fixing even a few of these shifts your metabolic direction. Busy schedule. Do water, 5 minutes light, 5 minutes movement. Still effective. Early job. Anchor the routine to wake time, not clock time. No outdoor space. Use the brightest light available and step outside briefly if you can. Quick question, answer in the comments. Which one change is hardest for you in the morning, delaying food, getting outside light, or moving while fasted? Commitment increases follow-through. Visceral fat is not just stubborn. It's strategic. It responds to hormones more than effort. Control your morning signals. And you change your metabolic direction. Subscribe for the next breakdown. The night routine that prevents visceral fat regain while you sleep. Because fat loss is not just about what you eat. It's about when your body is willing to burn.